All right, so we're still looking at factoring trinomials. We're going to add a little layer on with finding the greatest common factor first and pulling that out. Just remember our song, okay? Find the common factors, slide and multiply, factor for the sum. Remember to divide, make sure you did it right. All right, so keep that in mind, and let's look at 4 examples. So our first one is 2x squared minus 8x minus 24. So let's get started with solving that. Okay, so 1, find the common factors. So now I need to look at all of these and figure out what do they all have in common, right? And if you don't see it right away, you can always just come over and make your factor trees. So 2 is 1 times 2, negative 8. You're going to have 1 times negative 8. You're going to have 2 times negative 4. And of course, we could flip those signs as well. We could have negative 1 and 8. We could have negative 2 times 4. Okay, and then we have negative 24. And again, just making that list, 1 times negative 24, 2 times negative 12, 3 times negative 8, 4 times negative 6, and then we get back to 6. And then you could switch the signs again. So our list could be really long. Switching those signs would still get us negative 24. All right, so when we're looking for the greatest common factor, when we're looking what to pull out, we're looking for the biggest number all of them share, the biggest factor they all share. So this time it's 2. So I'm going to pull 2 out, and then I have to ask myself, okay, so what's left inside when I pull 2 out? So 2 times 2x squared, I'm missing my x squared. 2 times what gives me negative 8? 2 times negative 4, and I need the x still, so negative 4x. And 2 times what gives me negative 24? 2 times negative 12. And you know why I like the trees is because if I wasn't sure what I was missing, I could come over here. I have 2. Hey, I need negative 12. That's what's missing. All right, once we're here, so 1, find the common factor. All right, cool, we did that. 2, slide and multiply. All right, so now we're back to what we've been doing. Okay, so we're going to slide this lead coefficient, and we're only going to deal with the stuff inside. We're going to ignore that common factor outside for right now. All right, so we have 1 times negative 12. So I have negative 12. All right, and we're going to solve our little product sum puzzle, right? And remember, the sum is that middle term. So this is negative 4. So now I need to figure out, okay, what factors multiply to negative 12 that also will add to negative 4. And again, if you don't see it off the top of your head, you can always make your little chart here. All right, so I need negative 12, but I also need this to have a sum of negative 4. So I can do 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. 1 plus negative 12 is negative 11. No, not what I want. All right, so I can do 2 times negative 6. 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. Oh, sweet. There's what I want. So these are the factors that I'm going to use inside. So I have 2 and negative 6. These are what goes in parentheses. So I'm going to have 2, that stays, times x plus 2 times x minus 6. Okay, that's what we do. We take those and we put them in the parentheses. Okay, so we've gone through 3 steps. 4, remember to divide. All right, so I would go back and look at my lead coefficient. It's 1. If I divide by 1, nothing changes. So cool. Then 4, number 5 says make sure you did it right. Okay, so to make sure we did it right, we'll check on this one. And we're just going to write down how we would check with the calculator for this one. So how would I check with the calculator if that's what I needed to do? All right, so first thing I do is I'm going to tell the calculator what I want x to be. So I'm going to do 2, control bar, and those are the buttons. Remember, VAR is right above 9, x, and then hit the enter button. Okay, then once I have that, I've told the calculator make x 2. And so then I'm going to type in the original one, 2x squared minus 8x minus 24. Hit enter. That's going to tell me what does this expression equal when I put 2 wherever x is. Okay, and then I'm going to go and type in my answer. So 2 times x plus 2 times x minus 6. Remember all your parentheses, and you're going to hit enter one more time. If these are the same, then we have done it correctly, and we go, woohoo! We are awesome. We solved it correct. If they're different, oh no, I better go back and check it one more time. Okay? All right, let's look at another example. 3x squared minus 15x plus 18. So again, if you don't see it, just make your trees. Okay, so I have negative 15. So 1 times negative 15, 3 times negative 5, and then I could also do 5 times negative 3, 15 times negative 1. All right, 18 is 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. Anything else? I think that's it. All right, so we're looking for which factor, what's the greatest factor they all have. And right here, there's a 3, there's a 3, there's a 3. All right, so we're going to pull out the 3. 3. Now I say, well, what do I need to multiply to get what's left? So 3, to get to 3x squared, I need to multiply by x squared. 3 times what gives me negative 15x? Well, 3 times negative 5. X, because I need the x. And then 3 times what gives me 18? Well, 3 times 6. So I put plus 6. All right, so 1, find the common factor. Cool, we did it. 2, slide and multiply. All right, so we're going to slide and we're going to multiply 1 times 6. All right, so we have 6. 3, factor for the sum. All right, let's solve that puzzle. Remember, the sum is this middle one. This is our sum, negative 5. So I need factors that multiply to 6, but will add to negative 5. All right, so with 6, what are our factors? Well, I have 1 times 6, but if I add 1 plus 6, that gives me 7. Nope, not what I want. If I do 2 times 3, that adds to 5. Oh, it's really close. Guys, if it's really close, change your signs. Okay, so anytime you get real close, it's the same number, but the sign's different, change your signs here. So if I do negative 2 times negative 3, add those together, there's my negative 5. Cool, I just found my factors right there. So I have negative 3 times negative 2. Okay, remember those are what goes for our factors now. So I have x minus 3 times x minus 2. All right, 4, remember to divide, I look at my lead coefficient. It's 1, so that won't change anything when I divide. And then you could go ahead and you could check with the calculator. And we should be good to go. All right, 2 more. Here we go. 4x squared plus 16x minus 20. 4, 16, and 20. I know that those have 4 in common. If you don't see it, set up your factor tree. Okay, 4 times x squared gives me 4x squared. 4 times 4x gives me 16. 4 times negative 5 gives me negative 20. All right, so we've 1, find the common factor. Cool, we did that. 2, slide and multiply. All right, so let's slide and multiply. 1 times negative 5 gives me negative 5 here. And let's 3 factor for the sum. All right, so my sum is 4. All right, so let's look at those factors of negative 5. To get negative 5, I could do 1 times negative 5. If I add those to get 4, well, 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Oh, I'm close. Remember when we're close, we change the signs. 5 minus 1 gives me my positive 4. Cool. All right, so I have negative 1, I have 4. There's my factor, so I'm going to do 4 times x minus 1 times x plus 4. 4, remember to divide. All right, here's 1, doesn't change anything. And then just check your work. Okay, last one. 2x squared minus 14x plus 32. Always look at your smallest one and see, does it go into the other ones? 2 goes in there. Okay, so 2, I have times x squared gives me 2x squared minus 7x. 2 times negative 7 gives me negative 14. And then plus 2 goes into 32 16 times. All right, so 1, find the common factor. 2, slide and multiply. All right, 1 times 16 gives me 16. And I need a sum of negative 7. All right, so factor for the sum. Let's see. I have 16, and I need a sum of negative 7. Well, I have 1 times 16, but when I add that, that's 17. Nope. I have 2 times 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. Nope. I have 4 times 4 is 16, but 4 plus 4 is 8. Nope. Anything else? Those are our only factors. There's no way to get this, so right here is my final factorization. I'm just going to write that one more time so it's nice and clear. And that's as far as we could factor. We could only pull out a common factor, and then we're done. Okay, so let's see if you can do that, adding an extra layer on.